Welcome to the Porsche Club Insider, your one stop for all things Porsche and PCA. Here's your host, Vu Gwyn, and the Insider crew.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 183. We are still at PCA's national office prior to getting on board Treffin at Sea.
And he said, still. I'm like, you know something I don't know?
Made you a little nervous there. We have Manny to my right, our special guest, which I'll introduce in a second, on my left, and Damon Lowney at the controls. And of course, we want to thank our presenting sponsor, Pirelli. Pirelli tires have to achieve the highest level of performance, safety, noiselessness, and grip on the road surface. Innovative tires that can satisfy even the most specific mobility needs of the end consumer. And of course, thank you to you all for listening. If you aren't currently a PCA member and own a Porsche, what are you waiting for? Grab that VIN, head over to pca.org and make yourself a member. And for those of you that are looking for a special Porsche, maybe check out Marshall Goldman, which I'll mention in a second, but you can also join as a test drive member and unlock some resources where we'll help you find that special Porsche for your driveway or garage. Again, that's pca.org. And our guest to my left, dear friend, and you've seen him before, possibly. You've definitely seen some of his cars. We've mentioned Goldman Motors before, many of the cars that we've covered here. He's local to the PCA national office, but now there's a transition to Marshall Goldman. We have founder and president Harley Magden.
I'm so excited to be here today. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming through.
I'm also a PCA member.
You are.
Yeah.
You are. And I remember I
spent the whole $35, $50.
It's for you. It's $120.
$120. I don't know what it is, guys. So
$56.
$56.
$56.
Has it gone up?
Yeah.
Or was it 56 is the
Yeah.
increased price?
Yeah. That is. So we met through a mutual acquaintance, my dear high school friend, Brian Pertman, and he mentioned, yeah, there's this guy in my neighborhood. I think he's into Porsches, but he doesn't really drive them. And I mentioned that you're with the Porsche Club, and maybe I'll bring him over to the house. I think that's when you came over to my house. I didn't even know you, and Brian brings you over. I forget what you were driving. I think you were driving like a yellow, like GTS or something like that. Or maybe it was
I don't remember, but it was a pandemic meeting. We met during the pandemic.
It was
a pandemic meeting, and I remember you bringing over like a car that Porsche had lent you, and I was like, let me drive that, and you're like, yeah, that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah,
I think it was a Turbo S or something like that. But from that, man, have you fallen off the freaking deep end, especially with the Porsche brand? I know you're into other cars as well, but it's been really nice to see sort of your play into the Porsche world. And then with, can we start with, let's back up. How did you get into cars, or how long have you been into cars?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I grew up, and my dad was a huge car fan. Older cars, though, nothing new. In fact,
like hot rods?
Like the stuff from the 60s and 70s, when he was kind of growing up, GTOs and Chevelles and things like that. And
nice.
They were cool, and I liked them, but I'm not a mechanic. I'm not a guy that fixes cars and things like that. So, naturally when I was growing up, similar to how, when you grew up, you were seeing these cars like the Porsches, the 959s, the Lamborghini Countaches, that kind of stuff was on the wall. And
the 80s icons on the posters and stuff.
Yeah. So like, I was always into cars, but I really got into cars probably when I actually started making money, and I could afford the cars.
Yeah.
Which was, in the 2010, 2012 kind of time frame. And I really love Porsches. I just love the timeless look of them. Like, and my first Porsche purchase was actually a Panamera. I had to be somewhat practical in starting a family.
Like, didn't you wrap that one or something?
No, I didn't wrap that one. And it was my first of my 3 Panameras. I was like, how cool is this? A 4-door Porsche, you know? How practical. Which is also what I tell my wife now. And with the 911, I'm like, look at these, it's 4-seater.
Exactly. Plenty of room for your kids. Now, your first 4-door was not a Panamera. I think you have a pretty cool first car / 4-door story too.
Well, I wouldn't say it's a pretty cool car, but my dad had a rule. He's like, all right, I'm going to help you buy this car. If you get a job, so I was 16, and I got a job at a grocery store packing bags, right? All good. And he's like, I'll put down half the money, and the other half we're gonna get a loan, and you're gonna pay for, and you're gonna pay for your insurance. And I was like, all right. So I remember the payment was like $161.
Ooh, that was a lot back then.
So, and I was making $4 an hour.
Ooh.
Right. Yeah. Not a lot of
Rolling
money.
in it.
Yeah. And he goes, but the only way I'll partake in this is if the car, and this is 1992, has to have dual airbags and anti-lock brakes and a good crash test rating. And back then, I don't know if you remember, that was like 3 cars. And I remember the 3 cars.
Yeah.
It was I think a Chevy Beretta,
Oh, I
Yeah.
remember this.
a Taurus, a Sable, and then like one other car. So
Before you go any further, I'm pretty sure the 944 Turbo was one of the first with dual airbags, or at least single airbags.
Yep.
now this had to be dual airbags because I had a brother,
Okay,
and
okay.
he was very into safety at that time. And so you might be right, but I don't think the 2-door version was really like a big option. So
I thought you were going to be going and saying, and I got a 944 because it had, but
I'm
obviously
waiting to
not.
hear Volvo.
yeah, no,
I'm
I don't
thinking.
even. Yeah, and there might have been more cars, but it was a Mercury Sable.
Okay.
And it was like a
That was the Taurus, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It's
basically
Taurus
Taurus,
Sable. This
yeah.
was
The
a little
fancy
higher
version,
end. My
yeah.
dad knew somebody that had a Mercury dealership, so we got the Mercury. It was a seafoam green, 4-door.
Oh, nice.
And you guys might.
That's like a grandparent special.
Yeah. But it gets better. So, well, obviously I had to sport it out. So I got one of those bras that you put on the front.
Oh,
the
yeah,
black
yeah,
ones.
yeah,
They get
yeah.
all moldy when it rains outside.
Yes.
And then I went crazy. Aftermarket sunroof, the pop-up one.
Oh, you added a sunroof to it. Oh,
You know those pop-up ones?
Huh, look, you do what you got to do. The thing that I hear from this is your parents loved you and wanted you in a safe vehicle. My story is a little bit different. I won't go into too deep, but in 92, I was also same proposition, help you buy a car, has to have an airbag. They didn't say 2, and I ended up with a Fox body Mustang. So my results was a little bit different from yours.
Much different. Because my brother's first car, he was a Blazer. He got a 2-door Blazer. And I'm like,
that's pretty cool.
yeah, I'm like, I got a Sable, but I guess technology, they started rolling out those. So, but then the problem happened. So then I had the car, and there was issues. I don't remember what the issues were. I think it was like stalling or something. Long story short, I had to lemon law it.
Oh, nice.
So I had to lemon law this car. So then
Wow.
I lemon lawed it, and I got another Sable. So my second car is a 93 Mercury Sable in the same color.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
it wasn't until I was graduated school, and I don't remember the whole story because at our age, like that's a while ago.
yeah.
49. My dream car. At that point, it was a Trans Am.
Oh, yeah.
T-tops. I custom ordered it. It was $26,000. I actually still have the sticker to the original.
Don't tap too much.
Sorry, the original Mercury Sable I bought, and the sticker to the first Trans Am I got, which was like that was my dream car. I'm like, oh my god, 3-year lease. It was incredible. I was so excited.
It makes for a good story. I mean, it's not the cars that we would have chosen. Oh, the Trans Am's pretty cool.
Trans Am to me back then it was like, oh my god, I love this. It's like a Corvette engine almost, and it's so stylish. It looks almost. It looks so futuristic.
Like the wedge, yeah.
So I didn't get a Porsche until my first Porsche was that Panamera. My first exotic car was actually, and I regret selling it. People told me, don't sell it, and of course
You sold it.
I sold it.
Yeah.
I was in maybe like 2012-ish. I bought an F430 Ferrari
Wow.
manual,
Oh, gated shifter.
gated
Nice.
shifter, hardtop, and I remember selling it during the pandemic. And it was before the cars like blew up in price for like 10 grand more than I paid for it. I paid like 120 something.
thought you were a
And
genius.
who knew Ferrari was going to stop making manuals?
Yeah.
Well, no, I sold this during the pandemic, and then my buddy's like, "Don't sell it. It's a gated." Like I'm like, "Nah." Now it's like 250, 280 for that car.
So we're gonna have to compress this because I know there's lots of details we'd like to go over. From a young enthusiast that grew up around hot rods and finally had to break the news to your dad at some point that you're going to get into exotics and stuff like that. What did you do, or how did you make it, so to speak, and that you can afford to get that gated shifted Ferrari?
Yeah, so I worked in the family business, and my dad had a business, a window company in Cleveland, and when he was building the business back in '93, I was in high school, graduated in 94, so that would have made me like a junior. I helped him kind of build the business and stayed local, went to college, a small college in Cleveland called John Carroll, and majored in business, marketing and finance. And I helped my dad grow the business. My brother, after he graduated high school, went to college, did the same thing. We decided to help him grow. We thought we were going to get the business because we were helping him grow it and things like that. Long story short, he decided at one point that, he had a lot of money tied up in the business and he was going to sell it.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, well, we've been here for like 8 years. He wants to sell it. What are we going to do? What does this mean for us? So basically he sold the business, and, I was in Cleveland at the time where I'm from, and 30 years old, and I'm thinking business is sold.
Not to you and your brother.
Not to my brother and I. We couldn't afford it at that time.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
he had all this money tied up in it. So basically it was kind of a blessing in disguise, because I told my brother at the time, I'm like, regardless of what happens.
Shout out to Aaron.
Yeah, shout out to Aaron. He's a car enthusiast that cannot drive a manual. And I know he's going to hear this.
You just called him out on.
Wow.
Wow, Aaron. All right, Aaron. I will teach you how to drive.
And
a
he
manual.
has manual cars.
I will teach you how to drive a manual, Aaron. I can't believe you just called him out on like a podcast that's probably gonna be thousands of people listening.
Hopefully tens or hundreds of thousands.
You're the typical older brother.
You got to convince him to do it. So like the only way to do it is like peer pressure. Like
Now you done it.
Yeah.
Now you done it. All right. So anyways,
Yeah.
so you and your
Is
brother.
that how he learned to swim too?
I can totally see that too. You totally would push
Brand,
him.
how long do we got?
Yeah.
So anyways, we decided that, look, let's help my dad sell the business. He wants to retire. Great. He's worked hard his entire life. And we, had we taken the business over, it always would have been, well, no matter how well we did, your dad kind of gave you the business, or, it was because your dad. So we were like, let's just do it ourselves. So we had a non-compete, and we decided to stay in the business. We looked around, and we decided to come to Maryland. Didn't know anybody. We went out there.
You came here because it was an open market.
It was, the radius was 75 miles, but we looked at the areas. We wanted to stay kind of close to Cleveland. And if you're looking at like a 5 or 6 hour radius around Cleveland, and I'm from Cleveland, I love Cleveland, but you start going through the cities, and they're not exactly the greatest in the world. I'm not going to say which cities are close to Cleveland. You can look on the map. I don't want to offend anybody.
Shout out to Columbus.
Hey, Columbus is legit.
This is your boy.
As a Browns fan, I could say this. Not Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Oh, we can agree with that.
Yeah. So out
So you
here,
land in the DC area.
Yeah, because it's a great economy.
Sure.
Government workers, very stable, things like that. So we opened a business, and it's called Window Nation, and we put our heart and soul into it. We built it from literally zero, and ended up.
And if you're from this area, everyone in this area knows Window Nation.
Well, and now we're in 36 markets, so chances are there's a wide reach. And by the way, if you're looking for windows, windownation.com. We have a great special.
Are you still
right
in
now.
it?
I am. My brother and I are the second largest shareholder, although a minority, and we're on the board.
Okay, so you're still partly in it.
Yeah. So I mean, look. Yeah, absolutely. It's a business.
We're gonna have to figure out a PCA discount code for Window Nation. That's what
we
we're gonna have to
should.
do.
We should do that.
I've heard of Window Nation
Yeah.
on the radio and whatnot.
It's usually
commercials.
the commercials.
Yeah, we used to be on the TV and doing the radio spots and TV spots for like the longest time. Not anymore.
I gotta say, when I first heard about you and Window Nation, I was like, that's impressive, because I did know a little bit of the backstory. But I thought Window Nation started in Cleveland and you brought it here. I didn't realize Window Nation was started from scratch.
Yeah. And then we opened in Cleveland in 08 when our non-compete expired.
Yeah.
And so basically Windows. I'm not a window guy. What I am and my brother, we're like system process guys, sales and marketing kind of guys.
Yep.
And, we'll talk about a little bit what we're doing now, but basically we built a business that was very repeatable. Like I said, we went from zero eventually to right now 36 markets across the country, Seattle, as far as Seattle down to Texas and Florida and so on. So it's a business guy. So, naturally when that business, we decided to make a transition and step down and sell majority of the business, we look for other things to do.
Yeah.
There's some other stuff I'm involved in. As you know, you've been to my restaurant before, Mikey and Mels Deli.
Yep.
We have a really large car show there. If anybody's in the Maryland area is ever around and wants to stop by, we have it once a month. And
you guys seem to have I've said it before, and you guys kind of deny, or you're very modest about it. Is like you seem to have the Midas touch. Like when you get into something, you think it through and you execute it very well. So when I saw you getting into Porsches and then watching you look at your phone and constantly scanning on Bring a Trailer and Cars and Bids and all that kind of stuff, I'm like, I know there's probably an auction you have to respond to. But now, not that, initially it was for your personal, let's say, collection for you and your brother.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then you realize, man, I'm so consumed with this. Maybe I'll start a business, and then all of a sudden I see you with Magden Motors. And
right, yeah. I mean, we're collectors, and I think the cars are very collectible. I think that, especially Porsches. I mean, is there a better brand out there that holds its value? I mean, it's crazy.
We're very fortunate. Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy how well, as long as it's a two-door, how well, but the cars are just built phenomenal. I've owned every single Porsche, the Cayenne, the Macan, the 911, I've owned them all. GT4, yeah, anything I can get my hands on. Because I just love Porsches. I love the brand. I love the options. You can really customize it to be like your car.
Yeah, he often texts me, what color should I get? Or what option should I get? What do you think about this one? And all I have to say is, if you have an allocation, just do it and we'll figure out the rest.
I remember because my Turbo S is like, I want like the perfect paint to sample color. And I was like, give me three. Just give me three. And I ended up going with one of the three you chose, which was Smyrna Green.
Yeah.
With the heritage interior. And I got to tell you.
So I tell him this, but he doesn't tell me he chooses or he gets it. And I come to his house and I look in the garage. Smyrna Green. I do recall suggesting that color.
He did.
Have you ever done factory delivery?
I did. I went to Stuttgart for my Dakar delivery.
Okay.
And it was a terrible day. It was snowing and cold and salt
perfect
on the
for the
ground. And it was, but I'm like, I'm not taking this out. I am not taking this out. So I went, did all the whatever, stayed at the hotel, did the experience, but I did not drive it. So I still have to do that. But I've been, I'm a big Porsche fan.
Yeah.
And I've been to the Atlanta experience. I've been to Skip Barber School in Birmingham. I just love that stuff. It's great.
So going back to the business, so when you were moving from Cleveland to Baltimore, how many years did you have a break from collecting cars? Because I can't imagine.
I didn't collect anything until I started
usually
making
when
money.
you start a business, you take all your available money.
Oh, yeah.
You put into the business. So I guess there was a few years where you didn't think about cars.
6
right?
or 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't buy anything. A Ferrari F430, I'm going to say 12 or 13. And that was like a big deal. And I took a loan out.
Yeah.
I put like, a third down and took a loan out on it. So no. I mean, I remember my first frivolous purchase was a Mini Cooper convertible.
Huh. That is a frivolous purchase.
Hey, I own 7 Minis now. Props to Mini Cooper.
Mini Cooper. When did you and your brother decide that, okay, now this is, I know you're running out of space because you started asking about where can I keep all these cars. When did you guys decide, okay, let's start really buying and selling as a business, and how did that plan come together?
When we left Window Nation, we were thinking like, is it better to buy or build? Right. So we were looking at, and we have a lot of good relationships from our, buying vehicles.
Yeah.
And we were thinking about like, maybe makes more sense to like buy a business, but we really got to do due diligence because as you know, in the car space, everybody's not playing by the same rules.
Right.
Let's say.
Right.
So we basically decided, we're going to do this ourselves. So at 23 is when we opened Magden Motors, and we bootstrapped the entire business. Started with maybe 15 cars, and brought in some key people. A couple people that have been on this podcast before.
Yeah.
Shout out to Casey.
Yes, sir.
Casey Parkin.
Yeah.
I imagine the profit margin for the car industry is a lot less than Windows.
Oh, a lot less. Yeah, a lot less. And let me just tell you, when you buy a car, they don't always tell you the truth.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know.
No.
It's crazy.
You mean the photo is not exactly as the car?
Oh, my God. I had
As
one
you arrived?
last week that my brother bought, and he's like, look at this. Yuri,
Yeah.
you've probably met before, certified technician. It's like, have you checked out the over revs on this car?
Oh, no.
And it was, I don't know, level 5 maybe?
Oh, God.
On a GT3, and I'm like, yeah, what did we get ourselves involved? And we won't sell a car like that. We
Yeah.
won't. Honestly,
You just wholesale it?
we wholesaled it out because
Yeah.
I want to make sure that every car that we sell is a car that I would feel comfortable driving myself or selling to my family.
Yeah.
So we won't do that.
Okay.
So,
So that's still, we're still talking Magden Motors where you're buying going through the cars a bit. You're not doing like major stuff though, because you're trying to buy good cars.
We're trying to buy good cars, and then that's where Yuri came into play. We would go through a 75-point inspection on every car and make sure that this car was like, if there was a problem, we either identified whether we're going to fix it or what to do with the car.
So when you start the business, do you say, all right, we want to start a car business the way we think car businesses should be, or are you looking to say eventually we're going to sell this and make a profit on it?
No, it's we want to make sure that, look, have I bought cars? Everybody in this room has probably bought a car that probably wasn't as described, and they were a little disappointed at some point. And even if it's a $20,000 car, I mean, we find, for example, and I know I'm deviating a little, is that the person that spends 40 or 50 grand in a car versus 400, 500,000 a car, that person spending 40 grand, that's a big deal for them.
Sure. Yeah.
The $500,000 car is like, I got 20 of these.
Yeah.
They don't look at it the same way. So yeah, we absolutely put the car and the customer first.
Because that's part of the success of any business, particularly car business, is trust.
Well, trust, and these days with the internet, you do something wrong, everybody knows about it.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we don't want to go down that road. So absolutely. And then, we tried to surround ourselves with the best people we could to help us build this business. It's more of a passion project than anything else. It wasn't like we have to make money immediately or the kids will starve.
Right.
Right. So that was a different story, although I didn't have kids and wasn't married when we started Window Nation. We were working 80 hours, 90, 100 hours a week. We started with 60 grand total in that business to when we started
Wow.
30 grand each. And we had to make it work.
Yeah.
We had to make it work. The car business is a lot different. You need a lot of money
Yeah.
or a big line of credit because...
Well, I would think with the windows, it's not like, I don't know about how many number of competitors, but it's not like everybody can produce a window and then everybody can go install a window, right? But in the car market, you have so many people that believe that they can buy a car and recondition a car and sell a car. You have a lot of competitors and different levels of competitors. That's a very different environment than the window industry.
It is, but trust me, with Windows, there's no barrier to entry. You go to just distribution center, borrow a sample, and
They'll sell it to you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's with Windows. It comes down to what we did is we had a process that was scalable, and we did things just like we do with the cars, one step better. Like everybody thinks about the window, but really the installation is the most important thing, right? You can buy the best window that you can find out there and find a hack to install it, and it's going to leak.
Yeah.
You can buy the cheapest window at a big box store and find a guy that really knows what he's doing, and it'll be solid. But we would look at the materials like the caulking, the insulation, things that other people wouldn't look at. Caulking is the first thing to fail. So we would find the best caulk that would last forever, and we would guarantee it forever, right? So that's kind of what we're doing in the car business is we want to find the best vehicles. We want to make sure that they're properly disclosed and transparent. And that's why we'll talk about the new business. We have a pledge that we're going to guarantee these things.
Yeah.
And if we had one time that a customer wasn't happy with their car and we said, we'll buy it back or we'll do everything we need to, and even though it checked out fine, they brought the car back. Yuri took a couple weeks, fixed it, sent it back. And, we covered all the costs, lost $5,000 the car, but we wanted to make sure it was done right.
Yeah. Now, how there's a difference between you casually going through different auction sites and saying today you want a Panamera, tomorrow you want a GT4RS, and how did you decide the purchasing of these cars would be done? Are you and Aaron doing it, or do you have people that are doing it? How do you find the cars, and how are you choosing which ones are worthwhile to purchase?
That's the hardest part. When I talk to people in the business, two things they told me: don't get into it. And I don't get into it. And I have a good friend, Chris Orsman, and he's like, "Are you out of your mind?"
Yeah.
And Orsman's got
Orsman, yeah. Orsman deals.
He's like, "What are you doing?" And then the second is you make the money when you buy the car, not when you sell it. You got to buy it right.
Yeah.
So what we looked at is hard to find cars, stuff that's more unique in build, low mile stuff, clean stuff. But it is by far the hardest thing to acquire cars. And when we had Magden Motors, it was myself, my brother, a couple other people here and there, and then we were really trying to get cars off of our friends' inventory, doing whatever we could. I mean, look, you go and bring a trailer, you go on those auction sites, that's all retail.
Yeah.
I can't buy a car and bring a trailer and be able to retail and make money on it. It's already
at market.
or above market
Or above
in a lot
market,
of these cases, yeah. So it's hard. Connections, wholesalers, but really it's about connections, like who you know. and who they know.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, once you start moving, you get inventory through trade-ins. You get known.
Yeah.
You know, that's why the business we'll talk about in a minute has been around since 1978. You know, it was a big deal to acquire this kind of business because they have a reputation of being around for almost 50 years.
When did I guess is it hard to sort of classify or do you find buyers and or sellers of different brands, like different, like a Porsche seller buyer, a Ferrari Porsche seller buyer, are their buying habits or their transactions similar, or do you have to treat them differently?
They're different based on the car and also based on the price point. Like we said before, price point makes a big difference. Like I said, the customers that are sub 100, those are, they're stretching to buy those usually, or it's their very first one.
Yeah.
And it's a big difference in the purchase versus like a car that's 500. We have cars from 50 grand now to, over 2 million.
Wow.
How many of your customers are people that say, "Hey, I'm looking for such and such car. If you find it, let me know, and I'll buy it from you." Versus the guys who are looking at your website and say, "I noticed the GT3 RS that you have listed, and I'm interested in it."
Well, most of it's people calling on the inventory, but we do always, when people call up and if our car's not right for them, we say, "Well, what is your ideal spec, or what price point are you looking for?" And we do try to find it. We also have people that we use Slack, and we have a chain that basically, if somebody wants to buy a car, put it in the chain, and one of the 20 people on the chain will try and locate that car. So yeah, both really. Buying large collections is a big deal, but you got to come up with the money. And some of these collections that have the really good cars, because somebody passed away or they fell in a financial hardship, $20, $30, $40 million.
Yeah.
So it's, most people can't write a check for that.
Oh.
And now with our new situation, we can, but we couldn't do that under Magden Motors.
Okay.
Because we were too small, and we were brand new. And when you're brand new, it's harder to get the financing in place and harder to get the vendors to work with a brand new company with no experience.
All right, well, before we transition over into Marshall Goldman, allow me to recognize our new corporate sponsor, Auto Atlanta. If you're chasing down a Porsche part that's impossible to find, they might have it for you. We talked about 944s earlier. If you're hunting for special pieces there, trim, etc., for your 914 or something for your 911 SC, either way, Auto Atlanta probably has you covered. They've been taking care of Porsches and only Porsches since 1978. They have Porsche parts, they ship internationally, and they also have expert tech advice to boot. No matter where you are in the world, if you need a Porsche part, you can find it at autoatlanta.com. They have a team of all-star Porsche specialists to handle everything you need, from mechanical repairs, full restorations, regular servicing, and even detailing your car. And man, he's chuckling to the side of me, and I don't know why, because he's thinking of something funny. But they also buy and sell pre-owned vehicles. They have cars that you can give a new lease on life, or they'll just buy it from you. Whether you're rebuilding a classic or just need a single clip to finish a project, Auto Atlanta has you covered. Head to autoatlanta.com to find the Porsche parts that you need, no matter how rare. Be sure to remember to use the PCA, the number 5, OFF code to get 5% off your first order. And again, that's Auto Atlanta. Thank you for supporting PCA Insider, Porsche Parts, Porsche People, Porsche Passion since 1978.
I got to be honest. How did you memorize all that?
Yeah, right.
How in the world did he memorize that?
I was thinking that, Harley, in his eyes, he was thinking, I can buy an ad, and I can write what I want Boo to say.
And he would totally do that. He would do that.
I might.
Are you going to become a
It'd
PCA
be worth
Insider?
it just to hear it every week.
I would love
Marshall Goldman, our latest PCA Insider.
We've been supporting. We're in the magazine now.
You are. You support. You provide us cars to
You work for Union?
Works for
We
Union.
did the
you were
Works
there?
for Union, yeah. So absolutely, we're
And you can even write the copy. How's that? And I won't promise I'll say every single word.
That's what I was laughing at. I'm thinking.
You were reading every single word there, by the way. I saw your eyes. You did not skip over a word.
I'm wondering what he memorized. He's going to finally memorize it.
I know most of it, but I'm double checking as I read. But again, thank you to Auto Atlanta. All right, so Magden Motors.
It's funny because here I just got a text from my brother. He's like, I'm the Porsche expert now. Believe it or not, for
you are the Porsche expert.
somehow
now.
I'm the Porsche
from the time that I met
buying
you,
perspective.
yeah,
Yes,
from the
I
buying
still have
perspective.
not much of. But here, any idea on what a 07 GT3 with 900 miles is worth?
A lot.
He sends this all the time, but I'm like, what color, what options.
It's not so you do that to me too. And the thing is, it's
I used
not.
to.
No, you still do. It's not an easy.
How many
answer.
over ribs?
How many?
It's only 900 miles. If there's any
there's so
overrides.
many details, right? Like an 07 G2, yes, that's great. But the price between one that is a, what'd you say, 800 mile car versus a 23,000 mile
more
car?
lizard green versus black, and
Look
yeah.
at you. Look at you.
I had the
Oh.
Halloween spec, the blue and
Yep.
orange, the black and orange.
Black and orange one.
It was
Yeah.
black with orange, not orange with black.
That was an RS.
You got to get the green and black.
Oh, this is a GT3. I didn't even see that. I thought it
GT3
was
RS.
an
You need a 07 GT3 RS in green and black.
I
That is
did.
the holy grail.
No, you're wrong. I had the 07 GT3 RS black
and
with orange accents.
correct.
I bought it on Bring a Trailer.
Yes, I remember.
I don't know how much time we're going to have, but it was funny stories. I didn't know how to use Bring a Trailer. So I thought it was like eBay where you put in a max bid and it just bids it up automatically.
Yeah, he jumped up.
So I put in a bid like 35,000 higher than what clearly I won it. And I was like, what? The good news is I bought it for one. It was a 2,000 mile car. I bought it for like 170 during the pandemic. Worth way more than that now.
Again, that Midas touch. I
Yeah,
keep
Mike,
telling
trust
you,
me.
you do fall into this stuff that it's
And
pretty
now
cool to
everybody's
watch.
saying, I want to sit next to this guy at any auction just so.
I'm sweating on like
You do not, by the way. If you ask my partners, I am banned from all auctions now. I am banned because I'm too impulsive. I did buy 2 cars in Monterey. though.
We're gonna get to that, but we're gonna get to that. So, when did Marshall Goldman come up, and how's the transition?
Yeah, so what we did was, I'm from Cleveland. Marshall Goldman started in Cleveland. They have 3 other they have 2 in California, 1 in Cleveland. And I live 10 minutes from the Marshall Goldman office. And
What are they known for?
They're known for high-end exotic cars. And in
Okay.
Cleveland, there's not a lot of high-end exotic cars. They're the only one,
Yeah.
actually. It's not Miami and California. This is Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
And we would drive by the showroom, massive, like 25,000 square feet retail, all inside. And you just see cars through the windows, Lamborghinis, Porsches, Ferraris. And at 10, 12, 15, 18 years old, you're like, wow, I want to own one of those
That's
one
the
of these
dream,
days.
yeah.
Yeah. So I wasn't until, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 years ago, I bought my first car from Marshall Goldman. It was a slant nose, a 1987 black slant nose. Still have it right now.
Mm-hmm. I remember that one.
And I got to know the guys. And I found out they were owned by private equity. And, a couple years ago when we were starting to do our dealership, I kept bugging Harlan, the founder's son and guy who runs the business. I said, we should do something. He's like, it's not the right time, but, if something comes around, I'll let you know. So we were talking for about a year. And then eventually we were able to basically, he sold the business to private equity with his dad back in 2018. And we reacquired the business with Harlan. So Harlan's our partner. He's,
Oh, so they took it back from the private equity?
So we bought it back from the private equity. My brother and I, and then Harlan bought it
Okay.
back from private equity. And basically, Harlan's, like his dad's a legend in the business. They have tremendous connections. They've been around since '78. They have a great reputation. And we were looking for a business that we can scale with. So we ended up doing a deal back in April and actually just relaunched the brand during Monterey.
At Works Reunion.
At Works Reunion. I mean, what better a place to do it?
Exactly.
And
Shout out to Oliver. He was working hard.
Oliver was working hard.
Yeah.
And he's going to probably listen to the podcast too. So, Oliver, good job. New brand, new logo, new website, new everything.
And they still have 3 locations?
Yeah, so there are 2 in California, 1 in Beverly Hills, 1 in Newport Beach. The one in Beverly Hills is like right down the street from like Rodeo Drive. It's
This is like a dealer.
yeah, full-blown dealer. And then the one in Cleveland. Plus, we flipped our name from Magden Motors to Marshall Goldman because we had, 2 years of, name recognition. They have almost 50.
Right. So now you have West Coast, East Coast, and
Midwest,
Central.
and Midwest, yeah. So our plans are to open down in the South,
Okay.
in the very near future. Once we kind of get the team, built up to a place that makes sense. But yeah, so basically we went from having 40 cars in inventory to 250.
Nice.
So now it's, totally different game. And if you went to marshallgoldman.com, you can see our vast selection of amazing vehicles.
Introducing our latest podcast sponsor, Marshall Goldman. That sounds pretty good.
So yeah, it was great. I would like Manny to do the read
Oh,
in Spanish.
in Spanish.
In Spanish, yes.
Fine.
So yeah, I'm super excited. Super. I can see we're scrolling right
yeah.
now. Look at that.
Oh,
look at that
Shark
beautiful
Blue GT3
yeah,
RS.
look at the Superman spec. Yeah,
I worry when I see call for price.
that green SF90. I personally secured that, and that's a signal green. That's a Porsche
Yeah, yeah.
color. Yeah, I mean, I just
Are
saw
they
that.
black and white, or is it my color blindness kicking in?
That particular. Oh, now there's colors.
All right.
Yeah.
There's
And
definitely
these are
colors.
going in alphabetical order.
So now
we
all
have
these
S and
cars, you could have them delivered at any one of the dealerships.
Yeah, so I mean, it shows where they are. You
Uh-huh.
know, like that beige Audi, and
Yeah.
I can't stand the color, but I'm sure somebody would.
SQ8. Yeah.
Yeah, is in Maryland. It tells where they are, but
It's gold sapphire. What's it? It's Sahara or something like
it's
that? Gold metallic.
I don't know what it is. Like,
I
how's
don't,
that?
I don't think Audi calls it beige.
But you can see that we have the largest on here, Porsches. I mean, I don't know how many dealerships have 50 Porsches that aren't a Porsche dealership. And if you look in the top left one,
Wow.
Didn't you just sell that one?
we did not sell it. It was a no sale at the
Well,
auction.
that's the one we
Yeah.
picked over
Yeah.
the 4.0.
I know. I told him that.
We sold the 4.0, but I didn't know anything about this car, and now it's like you were telling me, it's like the GTRS of the day. They made like 10 or 12 of those cars. You can see it's in perfect condition, came from a private collection, and is an amazing spec.
So for,
Oh,
those,
so-
for those listening, it's a 59 356 GT. It was not a Carrera. It's not a 4-cam. I think it was a pushrod engine, but it had the GT meant it had aluminum body parts. So 59 was a year that they extended the production of the Speedster. 58's the last year of the mass production. They made some Speedsters for special customers in 59, and this is one of them. So when we saw this in Monterey, it was pretty cool because you don't see many 59s.
Our jaws dropped. So I'm pretty sure your knowledge on this car is less than mine. So who's managing how much that car should go for, and why didn't it sell at RM kind of a thing?
Well, so that was a car Harlan acquired.
Harlan, okay.
He's really knowledgeable on these rare cars, and
Okay.
I don't think the buyers were there. If you were at that auction, Ferraris were the king that day on Saturday.
Yeah.
And it's a very obscure car. I don't think we put enough publicity behind it. I think that the story was told because I was at the auction, and it was just like reading what was on the screen.
Right.
If the story was told, it would have sold. I mean,
but it's good that you have someone that knows, like, we're going to hold and not just fire sale it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're not, especially a car like that. I think
Yeah.
there's like 12 or 14 made, and I don't know how many. That's probably the perfect example of that specific vehicle. So if you're out there and you're looking at an extra $1 million in the back of your pocket, you should look at it.
So, I mean, that's a from a Mercury Sable to now cars that are in.
Well, these aren't my
seven
own
figures.
cars, but
I was going to ask now, you go for their inventory and say, which ones of these can I buy for myself?
I'm not gonna lie, that does happen. I bought
Employee discount?
there was a 29 Speedster paint to sample that I was like, that one is not going on the inventory. I am buying that one. That was because I made a mistake of selling my Mexico blue one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I make some bet. You say I make good. Trust me, you should see some of the decisions I make on these cars when I try to sell them. Like I sold my Ford GT in the blue color, the 0506 for like $260. It's like a $450 car now. Some of the stuff I don't know.
now, does your brother have the same taste in cars as you do?
He's
or
a
is he-
Ferrari guy.
Okay.
But he does have a 918, which we're going to hopefully bring to your
The open house.
But he's more of a Ferrari guy, and I'm definitely more of a Porsche guy.
That can become pretty expensive. Ferraris are. You can tame your Porsche hobby pretty.
I tell him that I'm like, I
Ferrari.
could buy 5 of these for that one car. Like I'm much better off owning these 5 cars versus that one car that you can't drive because it's a manual.
Again, Aaron, I will teach you. I will teach you. That'll be awesome. So, Marshall Goldman, this inventory now, does it rotate around the country, or you just buy them and then certain markets will end up with the cars and you leave them there, or how does that work?
Yeah, so because of shipping, as soon as we acquire the vehicle, we send it to the location that's either closest to where the car is located to
Okay.
minimize shipping costs,
Yeah.
or where we think it's going to probably sell the best. Although 80% of our customers don't live in the city that the car actually resides in, right?
Oh.
So take for Maryland example, of our inventory, like 80% of those customers that buy from us live outside of Maryland.
Oh, okay.
So
wow.
And most of the cars we sell are sight unseen. I mean, we welcome people coming in, and
Mm-hmm.
we have an open showroom. And yesterday had somebody hire a company, since they're not advertising on
Yeah.
here. I won't say who they
Okay,
are.
yes.
But send them out to look at the car and inspect it.
Yeah.
Before they bought it, and we sent it to them.
I would imagine a lot of your business is either word of mouth or through the internet because your location isn't what I would consider a off a major highway.
The one in Maryland is not correct.
Yeah, it's something that if you know, you go there and you.
Right, it's visible from Dorsey Run, but yeah, the ones in California and Ohio are on major roads.
You're not landing your cars up on the front of the curb with flags as
You don't
people
need to.
go by. There it's a what you
Right.
would imagine a high end place to be. It's like that audio place that used to be on Hartford Road, I think, where you never realized this place was there, but they sold like $10,000 turntables.
Really? Was this Speaker City?
No, I think it was called Discerning Ear.
Okay, that was a joke
Yeah.
from old school. But
Just audio.
This was, I think, it was called the Discerning Ear.
Okay,
but I
another
remember
one.
it from the outside. You never knew it was an audio place, but every audiophile knew about this
about it.
place and would go there and wouldn't even blink when you told them a turntable was $10,000. It was like they expected it. And I think almost you don't find Chevy Cobalts at this place.
No.
Chevy Cobalt, huh? Pulled that one out.
Man, I haven't heard that name in a while.
The Cobalt SS, great car.
Not
Remember
when you-
those?
Not when you
Those were the
autocross it.
turbocharged ones.
Not when you autocross it and the rear drums lock up.
Yeah, the front ABS is kicking in. And the
Well,
rear
whose
is
Dodge
locking.
Neon is that outside? Because
Dodge Neon.
no, I'm just kidding.
Say it.
That's about as rare as somebody
SRT.
mentioning a Chevy.
I almost
Cobalt.
wanted to go out and take a look at it. I was like, I haven't seen a Neon out there.
I was expecting to roll up and see this.
I drove a Porsche today.
That's yours,
did.
but
I
that's
drove
about
a
it. I
Cayenne.
drove my RS Spider in signal yellow.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Remember, Harley, we're a non-profit here.
We don't have an inventory to choose from like you do.
Hey, whenever you call me and you say, "Can I borrow something?"
You
I
always,
say, "Here are
you
the
always say
keys."
yes. You always say yes.
And I say, "Don't ground it."
I know exactly. Well, so does the process for refurbing the cars the same? Even though now you're Marshall Goldman, like, do they have a Yuri in all these locations to clean up the cars and get them ready? Or
So yeah, we do
Okay.
the same process in all the locations. It's because we want to make sure. Again, we're selling and disclosing these cars as exactly what they are. But the answer is yes. And most, I was shocked. I was shocked to find out that most companies don't do that. Most companies, I'm not going to name names, but I know for a fact because I know a lot of these dealers. They don't put it through the process that we do.
yeah,
And that's fine because most, buyer beware and all, but
Yeah.
no different than like when bring a trailer, you buy a car and then you find out something was not as described or wasn't noted. But I just want to do it the right way. So all I can speak for is what we do and what we want to be accountable for. And we want to be accountable for the highest standard.
So when you're buying from, say, Bring a Trailer, Cars and Bids, or wherever it might be, is it often that you get something that you didn't expect, or you have major issues?
So
with
being as impulsive as I am,
exactly.
I bought a lot of cars.
I'm very worried when you're the purchasing person in the company because you just click.
I'm not the I told you I'm just banned from these auctions. I was removed. I was told take the pass away and do not bid. And I only bid on 2 cars, I won both, and that was via phone call the night before I went out to Monterey. But maybe I bought 20 cars on Bring a Trailer, and I'd say 2 or 3 were disappointing.
Yeah.
So a pretty low percent.
That's
you
good.
know, but
You also learned a lot from that.
you learn a lot. I mean, none of those cars were big, real expensive. We're talking, it was 15,000. One was 40, and then there was maybe another one that was a little more money, like 125.
How many calls a day do you get from brokers, people saying, I have a car to sell you?
So, since I don't handle that part of the business anymore, like I said, I am not allowed to buy anything.
Your phone's gonna start blowing up. We're like, oh, that's a softie.
Yeah,
That's
but
a softie.
they
That's
must
what we
know
do.
he's one of the founders, so they're going to be
So
reaching out to him.
my brother and then Harlan are predominantly the 2 buyers, and they probably get 25 to 40 calls each a day. I would say it's a lot.
Yeah.
And we're picky. We're probably buying 10 to 20% of the cars that are offered to
Because I'm
us.
sure there's other dealers that, for some reason, can't sell this car, and they think, well, this is the kind of car for such and such.
That's why there's
from Marshall
Manheim
Goldman.
or auctions
Yeah.
like that, where people basically say, why is this car at an auction that anybody can, because I don't know, usually a problem with it. But,
Yeah.
I mean,
But if you have the reputation where you can have a smooth transaction
Exactly.
with Marshall Goldman, just know they have something valuable. They're looking for a good price, but they also don't want to publicize it. They don't want to deal with tire kickers, and they know that you'll give them a decent price. Then
you're hitting the nail on the head. I mean, they don't want to put the vehicle out there, number one. Number two is cash is king. If you can pay quickly,
Yeah.
that's what matters.
Yeah.
When you get your great deals on when people need to get rid of these cars quickly and they need the money fast.
yeah.
So,
So that's one direction of the transaction. Like, how do you How do you protect yourself when people, you said 80% of your cars are going out of state and you sight unseen, you don't even know who this person is. How do you protect yourself in terms of not being scammed in that car going on a, container ship and then disappears and the money that was quote unquote wired to you isn't good? Like, how do you protect yourself?
When we buy the car or sell the car?
When you sell the car.
And I want to get into details on that because I did have a car stolen from me about a month ago.
Really?
Yeah, a $400,000 Lamborghini Huracan through a shipping scam.
No.
Yeah, and it's still dicey. But it's you gotta, like, we are tightening up our systems to this specific situation was a central dispatch, which we don't use anymore.
You mean the trucking company?
Central Dispatch is basically a place where you basically put your car online and people will bid to transport it for you.
Okay.
A lot of brokers go on there
yeah.
and then they find drivers who don't use that kind of technology.
Yeah.
And what happened, and this is definitely like the big, you got to be very careful, is that they somehow hacked the driver and rerouted the driver after he picked the car up from California to a mile away from the New Jersey port.
I've heard about this. Not your case, but I've heard it happen on something similar. Yep.
Really?
Yeah. And basically the driver's just like, I'm following instructions. I'm told to
go here.
the car.
I'm gonna go here. Yeah.
So like we have like tripled down on how we go about shipping vehicles because when I mention this to other people, almost everybody has a similar story that does volume where it's like, I got a car stolen too.
Wow.
So that's a big deal. Like
Yeah.
transportation's a big deal because one, you want to make sure it gets there safely.
Right.
You know,
Undamaged.
And
I didn't even think about the whole, it might get stolen while it's being transported.
It is
that's how like the goods on Fast and Furious got stolen. They took
Which
it from
version?
the truck. The first one.
Okay, I remember one. What are they up to, like 19 now?
He's the only one that's watched every single one.
I'm done after 4. I don't know what else can happen, but I'm done after 4. They made one gone in 60 seconds.
Exactly.
Didn't have any unanswered questions after that.
Exactly.
So,
I didn't think about that part.
that's the most difficult thing right now is making sure that the vehicle gets from A to B correctly on time. My brother had a car. He bought it at an auction, a really rare Mercedes, and it was a very reliable carrier, and they damaged the car. It was coming out, and whatever happened, something happened that the car hit the ground in an inappropriate spot. It was like a perfect storm.
Yeah.
Caused like $15,000 in damage.
Wow.
They were a reputable carrier. They covered it all. No questions asked. Did the right thing, even though it was a really bad situation.
No,
So-
did they fess up to it, or did you see
we were
it?
there. We saw it happen. There was
Oh,
no
you
fessing
saw it
up.
happen.
It was
Okay.
unloading the vehicle.
Oh,
It was
okay.
like a black.
How many of you seen the photo of that roof that was on its tail end that was being delivered? Like that would be my fear, right? Somebody just didn't pull the e-brake or something and just rolled.
Yeah,
off
and
the
those
back.
are like one-off cars, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when you get to a one-off car situation where it's like you can't replace it,
Yeah.
I mean, that's where you really got to be super careful. So like, these cars that you buy at the auctions, if you're buying like a really one-off car or that guy that bought $26 million Ferrari, I was in the room with that. It was pretty fun.
Manny, didn't you at one of the Ren Sports, wasn't Porsche 356 number 1 in a situation like that?
At one Rensport, it was 98 for the parade in Canada. It was being unloaded from a plane and it was dropped. Yeah, it's you don't want to be on the receiving end of that phone call when
He's literally
they
buying
tell you.
cars as we're doing this.
I'm
podcast.
not buying. I'm just showing you on Bring a Trailer what I liked.
You have a problem, and you've made a.
Do you want to tell people what this is?
Successful business
It's
out
not
of
a
it.
Porsche.
It's not, but it's a very nice vehicle. And
It's gaudy. It's gaudy.
It's very gaudy. It's a
say
10,000
it.
mile 2016 Rolls Royce Dawn.
And since this is being recorded, nobody could bid against me. But, it's just so gaudy. I mean, why not?
And you have to have the shoes to match.
I do.
Yeah. And look, stop clicking. Stop
I'm
buying
just showing
cars.
you. This is a Porsche ST.
The
Oh
ST.
wow, it's sold. Market's falling in those.
So that's a great segue. The cars that you have bought, you buy primo cars, and sometimes I hear you kind of hem and haw that you're paying a premium price for these cars, but then you hold them for like 6 months and you're getting, a pretty good return on your money. And like,
I mean, I do have, I do buy cars as an investment. I mean, there's very few cars I drive like on a daily basis. Like I just got that Sport Turismo. I should have drove that here. The Taycan.
yes,
Yeah.
you got a smoking deal. On
I
that
know.
one. Actually, we can talk about that one?
Yeah.
Can we talk about that one?
I mean,
or are you
it
going to
was-
sell it?
I don't think I'm going to sell it for a while, and there's no reason to. It's a 9,000 mile GTS Sport Turismo in ice gray metallic with like a 158
Taycan
sticker.
Sport Turismo.
Yeah.
The wagon, for those of you that don't know.
Yeah, and that wagon's just like the coolest thing now. Like
Stickered at what? 160?
158-ish.
Yeah.
9,000 miles, 2 years of warranty left, CPO'd, 86 grand.
The CPO.
CPO too.
I know. I mean, so
But I don't think that's not the car where you're going to hold for 6 months and sell it from.
no,
for
that
much
car is
longer.
definitely not going up.
Do you have a charger in your house?
I do.
You
Oh,
don't.
that's perfect.
Yeah. I mean, you got to have a 220 these days. But like the ones at the auction, I definitely overpaid for them.
Yeah.
But it's like, I just feel strongly that these older Porsches, for example, one was a 97 Turbo S in yellow with 4,000 miles, primo condition, all the right options. And, you know, I don't know if it's public knowledge, but I paid with the fees like $780, you know, a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I just feel like that color, that car combination, like I'm not selling that thing for a while, and I just don't see the downside if you have the money to spend it.
Yeah.
Now, I did sell my 20,000 mile 97 Turbo S in black
Ugh.
to help fund it,
Wow.
you know, which I did buy at an auction the year before, and that one appreciated $55,000.
Did you listen to our recent podcast about the 993 C4S in oak green metallic?
Yes.
Did your jaw drop when you found out how much that thing hammered for?
Yeah, just crazy. But it's like those cars, it's like, you know, and
There's no more.
there's no more. Find another.
Yeah.
I mean, they made what 183 Turbo S's for America in '97, and how many have 4,000 miles in yellow? Like
Yeah.
we have one in our showroom that has 85 miles. And
85?
it's a consignment car, and the ask from the consigner is over $2 million. Oh God! So,
But
you
where
know,
else are you going to get a
it's if you want to find another, right?
two-digit car? Yeah.
So
Wow.
I mean, I was stretching, and had I not sold the other car, I wouldn't have bought this one.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I told the guy on the phone. I didn't tell him, but I was like in my head, I'm like, I'm not losing this car. I'm not losing this car. And I came close. I was like one bit away from losing the car because I was, yeah.
So you also added, we kind of glossed over this. So you have a facility, more of a personal collection facility, or maybe where it gets rehabbed, not too far from here.
They're both correct.
But you, next to Mike Levis, TPC, you have your showroom for Magden Motors now, Marshall Goldman, right?
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, that's an investment. I mean, you did a nice job in renovating all. Like you're 100% into this, man.
Yeah. Oh, we're all look.
All
You
in.
got to do things one way, the right
Yeah,
way,
yeah.
right? And we are fortunate enough to be able to have the funds to do it the right way. Make a mistake and you know, be personally accountable for it, but you know, it's not going to make or break us, right? Where when we were first building businesses, you know, you make the wrong mistake and you know, it could bankrupt you.
Yeah.
You know, I own some restaurants too, like we talked about. And my first business I started was actually a restaurant when I was 26, 27 in Cleveland, and it was a failure.
That's a tough business.
Yeah, I took-
we had a family restaurant too. That also failed.
Restaurants are tough, and I took with two other partners. We did something great. We took $350,000 and turned it into 30.
That's like racing.
It's restaurant week in Bethesda, and we went to dinner on Monday, and the owner came out super nice, and he was talking about, you know, he saw how nice our family was, talking about his daughters, and he had 11 restaurants, and he's down to 5. And I said, you know, he started rattling off what his daughters do, and not one of them stayed in the restaurant business. And I was surprised, like, sir, none of them are going to take over your empire. He said, absolutely not. I told them to all run from the restaurant business.
I mean, the hours, the margins, the headaches. I don't know. I mean, we opened Mikey and Mels Deli as a passion project for my dad. So
Yeah.
I didn't kind of tell the full story, but my dad ended up retiring at 52. He passed away at 66 from lung cancer. Stopped smoking for 10 years. He was diagnosed in January of 2018, was dead in August.
Wow.
And, you know, what we wanted to do was we wanted to pay homage to him.
Right.
And my grandfather was Mel, who passed away in 78 years old
Yeah.
in 06. So we opened, I just said, how cool would it be? Because we used to go to delis all the time, to open a deli or a restaurant called Mikey and Mel's. It just has such a great name to it. And then we,
Right in your hood.
right in my hood, right
Yeah.
in Maple Lawn.
Yeah.
And then we did the car thing where we have the car show, which is, I think, the largest in Maryland now, where people come, you know, if you go to, I think, Mikey and Mel's cruising.com, you can see, you know, the dates. But, you know, it's for charity, it's for fun, it's to help support the restaurant and the community.
Yep.
And we have a lot of fun doing it. And you see people come out starts at 10, Vu, but people come at 7.
Yeah, I told my brother, he goes, what time should I get there to get a spot? I'm like, 8:30, you should be fine.
I saw
and I
your-
find out he parked like almost in the last row. I go,
crazy.
what time did you get there? He goes, 8:30. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, why say what time to be there if you're just going to show up whenever? But those things are fun. Like, I feel like there's a sense of community around car shows and cars as well. People tell a story. It's like a picture's worth 1,000 words. You walked up to anybody at those car shows and ask about their car, and they will tell you a story.
Yeah, absolutely. So we saw you in Monterey, selling through your website and people that come to the actual retail facilities. That's standard. But you're selling cars at RM, other auctions as well,
Broad Arrow, yeah.
and Broad Arrow. Who arranges all that? How does that all work?
Yeah, that's Harlan again. So he's
Okay.
been dealing with these auctions for a long time. We buy cars to specifically send them to those auctions, right? So like
okay.
most of those cars, I think all but 2, were never listed online. Like the 4.0 with 100 miles, never listed online. There was a Lamborghini Cayenne, never listed online. That Porsche, until right now, that was the only one that didn't sell, never listed online. So it's almost like, we got to get those specifically for those specific auctions because we feel that's the best avenue to get the most money out
For
of
those specific
for
cars?
those specific cars. Yeah.
And then are they sold under Marshall Goldman? So it also gives some.
No, this goes through the auction.
Oh,
I mean, we
just-
could put Marshall Goldman tags on it and stuff like that, but yeah, when it's sold through the auction, there's no really mention of the dealership or anything. And sometimes it's better that way. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then how many cars did Marshall Goldman buy during Car Week this year?
Good question, because I wasn't allowed to be in buying those cars.
So they bought the correct amount, whatever that amount was.
If I had to guess, I think afterwards it was only like 5. The market was pretty strong out there, and we're buying based on rarity, a customer that might be looking for something specific, or if it's a good deal.
Yeah.
And
It's hard. I would say it's very hard to find a good deal, especially at Monterey, where there's a lot of limelight and there's also some fever of being in the crowd and buying a car. And good cars seem to have fetched top dollar.
and then you always sometimes forget about the auction fee.
Oh yes,
What,
the auction
10%?
12% up to 250, and then 10% above that. So you buy a car for 400, that's going to cost you another $45,000,
that's-
and you're like,
it's not
oh, and then by the
something.
way, you got to transport it from California to Maryland. That's another $2,500. Oh no, it's car week, so they're going to double the price of transportation.
So with the 356, it didn't sell.
We shipped it right to Beverly Hills. That's where it's at
So
right now.
that car's expenses just grew. It didn't.
No, because if you don't sell we don't bear any expense if the car doesn't sell.
Just the transportation cost.
Right, assuming that we transport it, which we did in this case from Cleveland, but we have a place in Beverly Hills right down by Rodeo Drive, and we just shipped it back up there. So
Okay.
just the cost of doing business.
Yeah.
But bring a trailer, charge you the flat fee no matter what.
No,
matter
bring a
what.
trailer charges you 5% up to $7,500. So if the car's $1 million, it's still $7,500.
Ah.
Right, so it maxes out at
Maxes out.
Or
$150,000.
to list it?
To list it, I don't know what they charge you. I think maybe a couple $100 maybe, but when the buyer pays the fee.
Yeah, but I'm saying the seller when it doesn't sell.
Yeah, I think there's a very nominal fee,
Yeah.
maybe $100, $200. We do very little on bring a trailer, so I'm not 100% sure on that.
Oh, so if you don't,
And they're not a sponsor, so
yeah, actually, we are working with them on a program. So
Okay, good.
They might be stepping up, and we've had some positive conversations.
it's fun to watch. I mean, you could see my phone. I had like 9
Right.
things saved. I'm gonna see
Exactly.
if
That's-
anything else is
that's
coming up.
how it's
Here's
consumed.
another one.
He's got all these alerts. Oh, mice in blue. Let's see.
I have a mice and blue speedster. Not
Nice.
speedster.
Now, which
RS
auction?
Aspire.
Which auction do you like to watch in person? Do you like the RM style or do you like the Meekum style?
No, I like the. I mean,
Don't
those
badmouth
auctions-
people. Just say what
I'm
you
not
like.
bad mouthing it. I'm just saying it's sensory overload when you go to Bear Jackson or Meekum.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
It's
they
sensory
move
overload.
by
so
design.
quick.
By design.
Not only that, but it's like, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, what is going on? What are they even saying?
I have to look at the readout to see.
Yeah, it's fun to watch on
exactly-
TV because but when you're in person, it is
No, we've been there in person, and it moves so quick.
They
that
have to.
literally, you go to the bathroom. They've gone for 2 cars already, and don't know what happened to the car you were watching because
or the car's already off stage, but they're still bidding on it.
I always say the RM gooding is very more gentlemanly. It's slower.
You got a British,
it's left
you got
and right.
somebody speaking in a British
pausing,
accent.
exactly, where Meekum was super fast.
Well, so the cars differ, obviously. They always have some one day where there's real expensive cars, but a lot of times they're a lot less expensive. But it's entertaining to watch on TV, especially the old ones, because I used to watch that auction with my dad.
All right, last question. 5 years from now, what are we going to be talking about?
In regards to cars or life?
Cars, Marshall Goldman. I feel like you're going to open a transportation company because
There is zero chance I'm going to ever open a transportation company. Never.
Well, odds are, based on what I've heard this past hour, you're going to be starting another business in 5 years.
Maybe. I mean, look, our goal is to grow this business and make it if you think about used cars, there's Carvana, there's CarMax, there's Vroom. There's no exotic car brand around the country. So I'd like to open enough where logistically it makes sense. So if you buy a car in the middle of the country, you can send it logistically to a point that's not going to cause, from California to Ohio through shipping. And it is to have a national brand. So I think Marshall Goldman is going to be, and Marshall Goldman, by the way, actual Marshall Goldman himself is still alive, comes into the office a lot, and he's still a big car enthusiast. But we really want to kind of blow that name up across the country. So that's kind of our 5-year plan through either merger and greenfield or organic growth. 5 years, I see the Browns winning the Super Bowl.
Okay, and we're going to move on
gonna
before we get into sports.
Did you go to Baltimore because that's what the Browns did?
Okay, first of all, I am not a Ravens fan. So
come to the winners.
And this is where you lose Vu.
Whoa.
Starting into
this
sports.
is where we lose Manny. 'Cause on the way out, he ain't driving home.
Well, first of all, thank you. You supported, people don't know, other than what they may have seen online, but thank you for always supporting and saying yes to when we needed cars and inviting us to, your dealership and access to your folks. And, even as of next week where, we've asked you to bring some cars for the open house, you always said yes. So I want to thank you for that. I want to wish you the best of luck with Marshall Goldman and all the other endeavors that you have, but I don't think you need luck because, as I said earlier,
everybody needs a little luck. But I got to tell you one thing, Vu. I don't want to interrupt you, but there is nobody happier than Vu. Whenever I see Vu, he's such an easy guy to deal with, and and anytime you see him, he is the happiest guy around, no matter what situation's going on. So it's really a pleasure to work with you.
Thank you.
We're always worried what's going to be that click that makes him just lose
break,
it like a postman.
It's possible. It's possible, but
he's got the best job. He's the happiest human ever alive. He's got some great kids.
And
his
he's
wife's
a lot
amazing.
slimmer than he was 6 months ago.
I know. He's looking great.
We are all very fortunate to be where we're at. So with that, let's head over to, before Porsche news, just make sure to remind you to sign up for PCA's newsletters, performance news, e-brake news, and Mark Fresh, all free. Again, PCA.org. Jumping into Porsche news. This one is about halting, and we're talking about batteries.
Yeah, so obviously with China, the Chinese market and EVs just killing Porsche with that side of their business. Porsche was doing everything in preparation for a huge Chinese market, which is not going to come.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to improve anytime soon. So they're making adjustments as any business would. And they're one of the businesses they had purchased, Cellforce, which they were going to use to produce batteries, is now pivoting to be a R&D for batteries. And it's all due to a Chinese market. They just can't support EVs, but Porsche still is in the EV game. They're not throttling back as far as what direction they're going to be going in. It's just they're not going to be producing as much because of the Chinese market.
Speaking of electric vehicles and such, we have word on the Cayenne.
Yeah, so nothing new. The Cayenne has, everyone knows it's going to be going electric, but they still will be making a gas version and a hybrid version. So you're going to have three different choices to make. The electric version is rumored to be 1,000 horsepower for the turbo model. And yes, I know the EV has no physical turbo inside of it, but turbo is the top of the line. They think the base is going to be 500 horsepower, and then the S will be somewhere in between, probably like 700, 750. So it'll be a formidable SUV.
I can tell you I've heard from some insiders, enthusiasts that did get to spend time with the electric Cayenne, regardless if you're in favor of the EV movement or not. As far as performance, they were incredibly impressed.
Well, what's that part called you replaced on your Cayenne? The
What's that?
on the drive shaft. The
The cardan shaft.
yeah. You don't have a drive shaft on an EV.
You don't, and you also don't have coolant pipes, and you
No
also
different.
don't have-
No transfer cases. It's 2 electric motors on each end that are wonderful for off road. So
and the power and the torque. I'm sure you've enjoyed the GTS. I mean, well, you've had plenty of Porsche EVs as well, and
I had the Taycan. Sorry, I had the Taycan when it first came out in Mamba Green.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're built so much better than.
and your use case works because you were not really traveling that far every day, and you can plug in at home. And
Yeah.
it's super easy.
Right, and they're built amazing compared to.
and they feel like a Porsche. That's what I tell people.
Oh,
I go,
yeah.
it feels like a Porsche.
Exactly.
You can use mine whenever you want.
Thanks, man.
I was looking at Manny.
Oh, damn it.
We should make them a permanent part of the show.
What are you trying to get a seat on at this table or something?
It's a small table.
Perhaps as
That's what everyone says.
Perhaps as the newest sponsor, you can get us a bigger table.
Interesting.
PCA events, as we've mentioned before, the September 13th, our open house, our 70th anniversary celebration is sold out.
I'll be there.
You'll be there. We look forward to seeing everyone. Unstock is November 16th at Porsche Santa Clarita. Registration will be opening September 3rd. Recent video that dropped, you've lent us a Gunther Works car for a video before, and we got to hang out with Peter Nam and the Gunther Works folks at Laguna Seca, and we introduced the F26.
I saw that sick car.
It is
super sick.
Oh, and of course, only 26 of them, and only about half of them will stay stateside. The other half are already they're
your garage?
heading overseas. 800 to 1,000 horsepower, depending on the fuel that you put that thing in. Put in there. Oh, it's crazy. If you're looking to race, fellow PCA members, check out PCASimRacing.com. We can get you set up, let you know what rigs you need, and you can go racing, or you can do the EDEs where you're just learning, kind of getting used to your rig and learning the different techniques. They've got all different levels of driving. Again, PCA Sim Racing.
You can get a Marsha Goldman virtual dealer and start selling these race cars virtually.
I like it. I like it. You want to go in business? That could be the next business. We can serve deli sandwiches.
Get paid in
too.
virtual money too.
You two would never get anything done. I can't believe we're actually getting through this podcast with you two next to me. If you're looking for PCA Insider swag, head over to the PCA web store. We've got bottles, mugs, T-shirts that you can buy. But if you're just looking for PCA Insider decals, we can send them to you for free. Send us your address information to podcast@pca.org.
I want one of those. I bought a PCA jacket at the Works reunion. Why don't you sell that on the website?
Those went out. They're limited edition,
and they were like very affordable.
I know.
They sold out. They were like hotcakes.
They're pre-tariffs, I think.
That was really nice. Had like the Club Coupe interior.
$85 one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super nice. Everyone loved it. And it was kind of chilly that day too. So
that's why I bought one.
We ordered up the right weather. Anything else from you, Damon?
Nope, I'm good. You talked about the video, so you did my job.
Oh, yes. We were efficient. Manny, anything else before we wrap this one up? Harley, anything else?
Yeah, go to MarshallGoldman.com. We buy and sell cars of all vintage. We pay top dollar. You can go to MikeyandMelsDeli.com to order if you're in the DMV area.
That's two new corporate sponsors for PCA Insider.
If you are the area, go to Mikey and Mel.
Yeah,
I should have brought
Mels.
food. Totally my
And-
fault, by
and
the way.
They do not have anything such as a small sandwich.
yeah. You go there with a big appetite.
You will not be.
We have
hungry.
regular and Manny size.
Yeah, old Manny, current Manny can't eat that. I could take stuff home every
We
time.
have salads.
All right, everyone. Thank you for listening. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and consider sharing our show with fellow Porsche enthusiasts. Until next time, stay safe, and we'll catch you down the road.